Hi grade 1. I hope you guys are having a good couple of weeks at home, but that you're also learning and having fun and playing as well. Today I'm going to read you the story, The Invisible Boy. Can you see Brian, the invisible boy? Even Mrs. Carlotti has trouble noticing him in her classroom. She's too busy dealing with Nathan and Sophie. Nathan has problems with what Mrs. Carlotti calls volume control. He uses his outdoor voice too much. Sophie whines and complains when she doesn't get her way. Nathan and Sophie take up a lot of space, but Brian doesn't. When the bell rings for recess, Micah and JT take turns choosing kids for their kickball teams. The best players get picked first. Then the best friends of the best players. Then the friends of the best friends, and only Brian is left, waiting and hoping. How would you feel if you were Brian and the last one to be picked? I would feel pretty sad. JT glances in Brian's direction and just as quickly looks away. We've got enough players for each team, he tells the others. Let's play ball. Notice Brian still isn't on a team. In the cafeteria, Madison and her friends talk about her birthday party. The rope swing over the pool was awesome, says JT. Yeah, so was the water slide, adds Fiona. That was the best pool party ever. I'm so glad you guys had fun, says Madison. Everybody did except Brian. He wasn't invited. At choosing time, while the other kids played board games and read, Brian sits at his table, doing what he loves to do best. He draws fire-breathing dragons, scaling tall buildings. Space aliens locked in intergalactic galaxies. Greedy pirates digging for treasure. And superheroes with the power to make friends wherever they go. Do you like to draw pictures during recess like Brian? On Monday morning, Mrs. Carlotti introduces Justin, a new student to the class. Brian smiles shyly at him. Some of the other kids sneak looks at Justin, trying to figure out if he's cool enough to be their friend. They haven't quite made up their mind yet. At lunch, Madison and JT watch Justin eat with chopsticks. What's that? Asks Madison as she points to Justin's food. And the kids laugh. All of them, that is, except Brian. He sits there wondering which is worse, being laughed at or feeling invisible. What one do you think is worse? The next day, when Justin goes to his cubby to put away his backpack, he notices a piece of paper with his name on it. It says, Justin, I thought the Belogi looked good too. Brian. At morning recess, Brian finds a piece of chalk on the ground and starts drawing away. He's talking to Brian saying, You're Brian, right? Yeah, thanks for the note. Hey, Justin, Emilio calls out from the tetherball court. You're up next. Sorry, I gotta go, says Justin. By the way, that's a really cool drawing, he adds before taking off. Back in class, Mrs. Carlotti asked the kids to team up in 2s or 3s for a special project. The kids scurry around the room to pair off. Brian heads towards Justin. I'm already with Justin, says Emilio. Find someone else. Brian looks at the floor, wishing he could draw a hole right there to swallow him up. And then here, he says, Mrs. Carlotti said we can have up to 3 people in our group. We're only 2. Come on, Emilio, let him work with us. Okay, I guess. Mrs. Carlotti gives the class directions for the project. Your assignment is to work together to write a story about what you see in that photograph. Use your imagination and have fun. Whoa, cool, says Emilio. What kind of people do you think would live in houses like that? I don't know, but I bet Brian could draw them to go with our story, says Justin. Brian smiles and takes out his lucky pen. Here's the boys working together. How do the boys look? Do they look happy, sad? It's lunchtime again, Brian's least favorite part of the day. Another 20 long minutes of kids talking and laughing with everyone else but him. Brian, he hears someone shout, Hey Brian, over here. Brian turns around and sees Justin waving him over. Emilio nods at Brian as he makes room for him at the table. Cookie? Thanks. Maybe, just maybe, Brian's not so invisible after all. That's the end. So, in The Invisible Boy, I want you to think what happens in the beginning, what happens in the middle, and what happens at the end. In the beginning of the story, Brian was invisible and didn't really have friends. Then Justin came into school and they became friends. And then Emilio joined the group, and at the end, Brian has friends. So the characters in the story are the students in the classroom and the teacher, and the setting is they're at school. All right, I hope you enjoyed this story. I'll read you another one tomorrow.